What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 5, Coins to Make, Not Friends to Fake. So we are at the tail end of the Kiki and Letitia fight. It started inside the Black Lounge and it spilled out into the parking lot of the Black Lounge. So when Tisha got upset with Kiki inside, she just got up, walked outside, and she got on the phone with Kimmy and she was telling Kimmy what went down between her and Kiki. So as she's explaining to Kimmy this argument that she had with her cousin, Kiki comes out. And Kiki says to her, so I can't talk about you to others, but you can talk about me to Kimmy. So they start going back and forth all over again. I don't know if Kimmy is still on the phone or not. At some point, Kiki told Tisha, so we're here talking and you still got Kimmy on the phone, listening to this whole conversation. So Letitia takes her phone and she starts, doing all of this. Bye, Kimmy. Bye, Kimmy. And I don't know if Kimmy was on the phone or Kimmy. I'm pretty sure Kimmy had already hung up because I'm pretty sure Kimmy has better things to do. So they're going at it again outside of the Black Lounge. They talk about the past. They talk about the present. They talk about the future. It's just a lot of back and forth. They're mad at each other for the same exact thing. Kiki's mad at Tisha for talking about her personal business to Melody. Tisha's mad at Kiki for talking about her personal things to Melody. So they're arguing about the same exact thing. And it's just pointless. It's a waste of time because they're not going to agree on anything. So Tisha says, if we weren't family, we wouldn't be talking. And I thought to myself, well, that's funny that you would say that because that's exactly what Kimmy said to you. And it broke your heart when she said that. So then Kiki says, we need to figure out a way to move on. And Tisha says, no, you need to figure out a way for us to move on. This is your problem because I don't have any issues. So you need to figure out how we're going to move on. And that's how that scene ended. Thank God. Moving on to Martel and Marceau. So Martel goes to Marceau's place of business to talk to him about a business venture. So first, before they talk about business, Martel brings up the book signing that the kids didn't go to, that Melody didn't take the children to. So Martel tells Marceau this sob story about how he had this book signing for his children and that he gave Melody ample time gave her ample time, to let her know about the book signing so that she can get the kids ready, and how Melody chose not to bring the children. So he wants to make Melody look bad. It's absolutely disgusting to me how Martel tries so hard to make Melody look so bad. This is the mother of your children. Fool. This is the mother of your kids. Whatever personal issues. And you know what? It's all about the fact that he's mad at himself for what he did, how he ended up losing his family. He's mad at himself, but he's going to try to find a way to bring Melody down to the pits of hell with him, even if it's at the expense of his own children. So he tells Marceau that, yeah, Melody didn't bring the kids and I gave her plenty of time, to get everything situated to have them come over to the book signing, but she still didn't bring him. And Marceau was like, well, do y'all talk or did you talk to her? And then Martel says that, she doesn't talk to me. I tried to call her, but she won't answer the phone. Whatever, Martel. So Marceau says in his confessional that this is the perfect example of people using their children as pawns. And it is. It really is. Melody's not 100% innocent in all of this. Martel for sure isn't 100% innocent. They both have a lot to do. They hate each other. And this is very typical for people for divorced parents. They hate each other so much that they're so consumed by hating each other that they completely forget what's in the best interest of their children. Talking about the other parent to other people, to your children on social media, it's not conducive to raising healthy children. But whatever, they don't care, so let's move on. So Martel then invites Marceau to a wine tasting that he's going to be having in Atlanta. And he wants to kind of make it like a boys' trip, And so Marceau obviously wants to go, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have to run it by Tisha first and see how she feels about it. And then Marceau says in his confessional that I trust Tisha and she trusts me. And I thought to myself, okay, y'all trust each other so much that Tisha's out there using her mother to question you about secret apartments and secret babies. That's how much you trust each other. Okay. Martel asks Marceau to come back if he can buy back into Skolt, the business venture that they had together before him and Melody divorced. So after I guess Melody and Martel divorced, they were out of Skolt. So now Martel wants to buy back into Skolt, and Marcel was like, you know what? That's not such a bad idea, but because Tisha is also majority holder of Skolt, I have to run that by her to see how she feels about it. So okay, Martel's cool with that. So then Marceau proposes another business venture and says, well, before we go, we get all into the whole Skolt thing. What if me and you do like a small independent venture together that's separate and apart from Skolt? It's just going to be them two together in a partnership, and it's to help Destiny expand her salon slash beauty store. So Destiny has this idea of adding some salon suites to her building and renting out those suites. So she already has Marcel on the project. So Marcel's like, hey, Martel, why don't you join me and we'll see how that goes? Because Marcel's whole thing is if him and Martel can deal with this Destiny project and make it successful, then maybe that can convince Tisha to allow Martel back into Skolt. And then he himself can see if Martel is ready to come back into Skolt, depending on how this individual partnership goes. So, Martel accepts and it's all good on that end. Moving on. So we have Maurice and Kimmy. They're at home, and Maurice is putting up a television on the wall. He's mounting a television, and Kimmy tells Maurice about the whole Tisha and Kiki thing. So Kimmy says she was just chilling at home watching television. She gets a call from Tisha. Tisha is, hysterical, saying that she just got into this big old fight with Kiki. And so she's going through the details of the fight. And, Maurice was like, well, what's about to happen. They're going to drag you into this, and you're going to be right smack in the middle of it. And Kimmy tries to tell him, you know what? It don't got nothing to do with me. And Maurice is like, yeah, I know. But Tisha always finds a way to drag you into her mess, and you'll be right smack in the middle of it. Moving on to Destiny and Maurice. So Destiny goes to Maurice's place of business, which is called Scott Imperium. And in addition to doing construction, in addition to being an attorney, Maurice is also has a business for credit repair. So Destiny goes to talk to him about fixing her finances, fixing her credit, because after her divorce, it got really messed up, which kind of shocked me because Destiny wasn't married for that long. They didn't even stay married throughout her whole pregnancy. So like how could the divorce messed up your finances that bad, Destiny, if you weren't even married for that long? But she says the divorce really messed her up. So she's trying to get back on track with her finances because she wants to refinance her home. She has about 1 year to refinance her home completely into her name, under her name, and to get her ex-husband off of it. And she has 1 year to do that. So she has a lot of work to do in a very short period of time. So she needs her credit to get fixed, and she needs Maurice's help. She tells Maurice that it was so bad for her financially that she had to get on public assistance. And Maurice was like, oh, you mean you had to get on PPP, which was the loan given by the government for small businesses. And she was like, no, I'm not talking about the PPP loans. I'm talking about financial assistance, public assistance, like welfare, food stamps, all that stuff. And so this just makes, once again, it just gets me riled up about her ex-husband. What kind of a man is that? This was your wife. You were married to her. Y'all were together for, quite a few years before y'all got married. Y'all have a child together. How are you going to let the mother of your child out there struggling like that? Unless he ain't got it either. But I thought he was a successful businessman. Like, how are you going to let Destiny out there struggling like that? You won't even lend her a hand. She has to go to Maurice for help. Anyway, it's not financial, like give me money, but help as far as, help me fix myself. So when she talked about having to go on public assistance, I kind of wondered to myself, how did she pay for Maurice's and Kimmy's honeymoon? Because last season, when she hosted her big business event, she gifted Kimmy a free honeymoon. And then Kimmy and Maurice paid for their own honeymoon. So they had like 2 honeymoons, I think, or 2 trips. I don't know. So I'm like, girl, how did you afford to buy someone else a trip when you yourself were on public assistance? Like, this is not adding up to me. Maybe I'm missing something. So Maurice suggests that because her biggest investment is her her store, her building, Madani. So he tells her that's your biggest investment. So you need to find a way for that to help you generate income. So she says she already has Marcel helping her. He's going to add some suites to her building so that she can rent them out and generate some income. So she tells Maurice that she's using her personal savings to fund her business. And Maurice is like, that is not a good idea because it's not going to go on forever. You know, you want your business to last for a very long time, and your savings can only go so far. So eventually that's going to run out. Then you're going to have no savings and no business. So he's like, yeah, that's not a good idea. We need to come up with a whole nother plan. So, out of nowhere, like completely random, Maurice brings up the whole drama between Destiny and Melody. And I was like, where is this coming from? Like, I don't want to talk about this. I was really interested. I was really like sucked in to their whole conversation about helping Destiny get out of her financial rut. That's what I was more interested in. But then they start talking about Melody. And then, she says how Melody had completely ghosted her and Melody wasn't there for her. And she was like, it's one thing. Well, it was really hard for her because her and Melody were so close. They were talking on the phone every single day, several times a day. They were that tight. And all of a sudden, poof, Melody was gone. And, it was really hard for her. And so she started to lean more on Tisha. And then Maurice asked her, so how was Tisha as a friend, And Destiny says, she's really helped me. She's been a very good friend to me, in fact. So, yeah, whatever. I didn't care about that. I'm so sick and tired of talking about that whole Melody, Tisha, Destiny nonsense. Moving on. So, Tisha and Marceau are at Black. And the first thing that Tisha wants to talk about is her mom. She says, she didn't really ask Martel because not Martel. She didn't really ask Marceau if Wanda could shadow him. She basically told him that that was her plan, was to have, because her mother Wanda wants to shadow Marceau at his lounge so she can kind of see how a business is ran. Tisha tells Marceau that, the cooking part, my mom's got that down pat. No issue with the cooking. The food is delicious because, Miss Wanda wants to start her own food truck. So, but she just needs help on the business end of it. So she basically tells Marceau she's going to be shadowing you to kind of pick up on some business skills. And, Marceau, happy wife, happy life. He's going to go ahead and do that. So Marceau then tells Tisha that Martel wants to buy back into Skolt. And Tisha says, you and Martel are really good together as far as business partners because wherever you lack, he picks up. Wherever he lacks, you pick up. So the two of y'all together, business wise, it's a match made in heaven. But I just don't trust him on a personal level. So they talk about how, how Martel betrayed them by putting out this rumor that Marceau was cheating with 20 different women. And they show a flashback of Martel having to go back to the Scots with his tail between his legs and basically apologize for even saying that. And in the flashback, we see Tisha telling Martel that that didn't ruin, but it affected my marriage when you said that. Why would that affect your marriage, Tisha? You trust your husband, right? Y'all trust each other so damn much. Why would whatever nonsense Martel the clown has to say affect your marriage? Y'all are strong like that, right? You have a very strong foundation, very trustworthy, trust each other a whole bunch. Who the hell is listening to Martel? But anyways, she said it affected her marriage. So because of that, she's not ready to let Martel into Skolt. And Marceau understands and he's okay with that. And he tells Tisha, so him and Martel, they're going to have their own partnership separate and apart from Skolt because he says, I don't want whatever I'm doing with him affecting our money and our family's money. So I'm going to go into a partnership with him to expand Destiny's business to help her generate some income. And yeah, that was fine. I thought it was a good idea for Tisha to say no to Martel coming back to Skolt because you can't let someone talk crap about you, try to ruin your reputation, and then let him back into your business. No, ma'am. So that was, I was like, okay, thumbs up for Tisha for not allowing Martel to come back in. Moving on to Melody and Destiny. So Destiny says that the drama between her and Melody affected her business. Okay, so Melody and Destiny, they're meeting up for lunch or breakfast, I think it was, or brunch, I don't know. So they're meeting up at a restaurant and they want to talk about their issues. And so Destiny says that their personal drama has affected her business because she was supposed to be working on a project with this particular individual. They didn't name any names. We don't know who this individual is. And because of the fact that this individual is also friends with Melody, and because Melody, I guess, have put it out there that if you mess with my enemy, you can't mess with me no more because the friend of my enemy is my foe. So because of that, this individual, I guess, was really worried about losing the friendship, or even like maybe there was a business relationship between Melody and them, whatever. But this person got really spooked by, Melody putting it out there that if you're going to mess with someone that I'm not messing with, then me and you are over with. So that person cut all ties with Destiny and they could not go through with their project. So Destiny was like, whatever you're putting out there on social media, whatever you're talking to people about, whenever you talk about our issues, it's affecting my business. And Melody, of course, is going to deny it and act like, well, that person can make their own decisions and I don't care who's messing with you or who's dealing with you. I don't really care about that. I'm not that kind of person to tell people, to not talk to you or not do business with you. You know how she does it. She says she doesn't care. She says it doesn't bother her. But then when, like, Destiny made a good point. But when I do mess with these people, she all of a sudden, gets all up in her feelings and makes it difficult for me and it makes it difficult for them. Just like with the whole Letitia thing. Destiny's point is that, you told me that I could be friends with whoever I want to be friends with, even if it's people that you don't get along with, because you're not going to stop people from, being friends. But as soon as I became friends with Tisha, it was a problem. So now me and you are no longer friends. So then if Melody is doing things out there that's affecting Destiny's business and affecting her money flow, then that's really foul of Melody. Melody strikes me as the kind of person where she wants people on her team. If she's not fooling with Tisha, she wants everybody to be on her side because she thinks that her side is right. And if you show Tisha any grace, any sympathy, you deal with Tisha in any kind of way, Melody automatically sees it as an attack against her. That's how I see Melody. So I kind of believe Destiny when she said that somehow or another, in some way, whether directly or indirectly, that Melody got this third party so spooked that she didn't want to deal with Destiny. I believe that. I'm more inclined to believe that. So, but what Melody is doing, like, that Destiny, she's, struggling as a single parent. This husband done left her high and dry. Her credit is in the toilet. She's trying to get herself together, girl. And you're out here messing with her money by having people not work with her. Melody, that's just foul. So Destiny in her confessional says that because Melody isn't fooling with her, this other person stopped fooling with her. We talk about Melody posting these cryptic messages online. Destiny accuses Melody of ghosting her after the show had wrapped. So that was a big area of contention between them. So when they had stopped filming the previous season, Destiny says that Melody was ghost. She couldn't contact her, couldn't communicate with her at all. At the reunion, when Carlos asked Destiny, so what is the relationship like now between you and Melody? And Destiny said at the reunion that she doesn't talk to me. We don't talk anymore. So that's when Melody said that, that was false. That was a false narrative. And she tells Destiny that, well, she says in her confessional or something. Yeah, in her confessional, she says that, okay, so Destiny accused me of ghosting her when the show wrapped, but she forgot that she did the same thing to me. I had no idea she was going through a divorce. She didn't say nothing about anything. I hadn't heard from her, didn't know what was going on with her until after her divorce was finalized. Then she comes out of the shadows talking about, I'm divorced now. So Melody was like, she did the same thing to me, and I respected that. I gave her space when she was going through whatever she was going through with her husband. But now when I need my space, all of a sudden I'm a bad friend. I'm ghosting people. I'm abandoning people. And she said that wasn't even it. I just needed time alone after the show wrapped. I needed time alone to kind of reflect, get myself together. I wasn't ghosting nobody. I wasn't being a bad friend. I was always there for Melody. She was always my friend, but I needed space. So that could not be respected. That's how Melody sees it. So then Melody says, when you were talking when you were saying on the reunion that we weren't talking, we weren't speaking, but we were, Destiny. So she pulls out her phone and she starts reading off text messages that were going on between Melody and Destiny during the time that Destiny alleged they were not speaking at all. So she was like, how are you going to sit up there on that couch at the reunion and talk about how we weren't talking and I ghosted you when we were having full on conversations on text? And so Destiny was trying to say, but Melody didn't let her get a word in. Destiny was trying to say, but that's not really talking. Us just sending good morning text messages. It's not really us talking the way we used to talk, because Destiny said that they used to talk every day on the phone for hours on end, several times a day. Just, good morning messages. That's not really her way of communicating. She didn't really see that as them maintaining a friendship. So then the conversation turned to Martel and Destiny. So we know that Melody has an issue with Destiny being friends with Tisha. Now Melody has an issue with Destiny being friends with Martel. So she was like, how can you be friends with someone who was constantly trying to kill me on social media? He's constantly talking about me, putting stuff out there about me that's not true. How could you be friends with this person? And I saw you like a sister. And Destiny was like, you saw me like a sister? And Melody was like, for sure, yes. I saw you as a sister. And here you are being friends with someone who's trying to destroy me, basically. And in her confessional, Destiny says, you know what, we're all grown, we're all adults. And truth be told, I was friends with Martel before I was ever friends with Melody. So, but girl code has it where I can't be friends with Martel anymore. But she's like, we're all grown. We're all adults. We can be friends. I can be friends with both of them. Just because I choose one doesn't mean that I'm betraying the other. And I kind of agree with Destiny on that as well. It's stupid for adults to be like, I have to pick a side because you're not fooling with so and so. I'm not going to fool with so and so. That doesn't make any sense to me, especially if there's a genuine friendship between you and that and said so and so. So her and Martel were friends way before her and Melody were friends. I don't think she should stop being friends with Martel. But what I feel like, because of the fact that Martel and Melody, they're still in that freshly divorced phase, so there's still a lot of unresolved feelings and emotions, and they're going for each other's jugular right now. I just don't feel like Destiny should be talking about one to the other. When you're with Martel, don't talk about Melody. When you're with Melody, don't talk about Martel. Simple as that. If Melody wants to start running off at the mouth about, oh, Martel this and Martel that, you need to tell her, hey, I'm sorry, but that is still my friend. You need to chill with that. And the same thing when you're with with Martel. When he starts off with, oh, Melody, the kids, Melody, keep away from my kid. Nope. Don't talk to me about Melody. Whatever issues you got with Melody, you handle that with Melody or your therapist. I'm not here to talk about Melody. But we see in the next episode, when they show us the preview, that that's exactly what Martel wants to do. He wants to talk about Melody to Destiny. And I hope that Destiny's not going to entertain that mess, because if you feel like you can't be loyal to both, because being loyal to both means that you can't allow them to talk about each other in your presence. But if you feel like you can't do that, Destiny, either drop both, or whoever you decide, or choose one, the one thing that you didn't want to do, to choose between, this friend and that friend, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose one. You're going to have to be loyal to one and let the other one go. So we'll just see how that plays out. But the infidelity that Martel committed against his marriage to Melody, it's got Melody so twisted and confused that she's so insecure about a lot of things, and I know that infidelity effect, because Melody has always seen herself as the it girl. Like, she had it going on so many levels. She's attractive, she's intelligent, she's got businesses, she's got money, she's a mother to all these kids. She's holding it down at home, holding it down at work. She's always seen herself as the prize. So to hear Martel, her husband of 12, 13 years, whatever, talk about how, at the reunion, the possibility of him falling in love, not just lust, but having real feelings for a woman who hasn't accomplished 1/8 of what she's accomplished, that can probably affect her ego and her self-esteem. So now she don't trust nobody. She sees Destiny talking to Tisha, she's going crazy. So it's just, I think that the infidelity, the break of trust has really affected her self-esteem. And Melody is always going to put up a good front no matter what, but inside Melody is really broken, and she needs to address how broken she is and not try to put up this front and make it look like, yeah, my husband betrayed me, but I moved on, I'm bigger and better without him, I'm stronger without him. No, you're not. You know, it affected you because he was your partner, your friend. He was all of this to you for so many years, and he betrayed that and he broke that. And you have to admit, Melly, that that hurts. That really hurts. And deal with that pain of losing your man. Okay, deal with that pain. Fully deal with it. Then you'll come out stronger and better. But as long as you're putting up this front, like, okay, he gone, I don't really care, and I'm moving on. You're gonna have issues like this where you see one friend talking to your enemy, Tisha, and you lose your mind. Yeah, I do feel sympathy for Melody when she said that she overheard Destiny talking about her to Tisha. I do feel sympathy because but then I don't know if Destiny was herself saying negative things about Melody, and maybe at that time she was saying something negative because Destiny felt like Melody broke up their friendship. You know, Melody wasn't talking to her. Melody wasn't, it wasn't the way it used to be. And she didn't know that Melody was needing time alone. She didn't know that. She just thought that Melody has an issue with me. We're not friends anymore. And maybe she felt comfortable talking about her to Tisha. But I think it was just a big misunderstanding. All could have been resolved if Melody wasn't so angry and if Destiny wasn't so defensive. It all could have been resolved. But I don't know how it's going to work out. But it is what it is. So that's my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.